Welcome back to Buff-A-Touille. Today, we're going to make a delicious dish that you often find when you travel to Mexico. I get to travel to Mexico quite frequently for my other job. And one of the favorite things that we have in the evenings are when we get to sit down and start our meal with Queso Fundido. You can see here in this picture how it's served in one restaurant. It's served differently in another, and differently in another. The point here is you can make it however you like, but there are some basics to it. Those basics are a cheese that melts well, some form of meat, typically a chorizo, and a small tortilla. Beyond that, your imagination can run wild. You can add whatever you like to it, but today we're just going to make it with the basics. And we're going to teach you how to do that today. So let's get started. Okay, so to start with, we need to prepare our chorizo. As you can see here, we're using a small cast iron pan. This is just over 6 inches. And typically this is how it's served in a restaurant. If you're going to attend a large gathering, you'd make a larger amount. But we're just making that appetizer size. So for this, we don't need an entire amount of chorizo. This is just half of a tube, and this is pork today. And we're probably not going to use all of that. But we got to start off by browning it and then draining it. So we're going to do that first. All right. So when you're cooking this, it's hard to tell that it's done, unlike if you're browning a pork or a ground beef. But what we're looking for, we want to break it up into small crumbles. And once you reach the crumbles, then we're going to drain it. However, we want to reserve the flavor that's left in the pan. All right, so now it's cooked long enough. The next step, what we'll need to do is to drain it. So we'll go ahead and pour this onto a plate with a paper towel. And we don't want to wipe that pan out. We still want to leave all that leftover oil and flavor in the pan. Okay, so now we're ready to put the cheese in. This being a smaller pan, we'll see how much cheese will fit in here, and then I'll let you know. Let's say that's probably about it. So this was a 2-cup bag of cheese. Now, what kind of cheese to use? Normally you'd use like a Oaxaca cheese would be the preferred one. But sometimes where we live, that's very hard to find. So Oaxaca is very similar to mozzarella or a Monterey Jack. So today we're actually using Monterey Jack just because we couldn't find what we needed in the store. But it will taste very similar. So now we've got this pan approximately, you can see how much cheese is in there. We're going to put it into our Ninja oven and we'll cook it for most of the way, and then we'll go ahead and add the cooked chorizo on the top, and then we'll be eating it. All right, so we just took it out of the oven. You can see it's still bubbling, and you want to eat it fairly quickly because as it starts to congeal, it will stick to the pan. So we've got our street size taco or tortilla warmed up. And there's different ways to do this. You can either scoop it, but normally what we do when we're in the restaurant is to provide a spoon, and we'll spoon that on to the tortilla. And a little tip I learned from one of my subscribers that I travel with is to spread it out. I mean, if you do that, then you can roll it up. Now, feel free to add anything else you want to it, but this is how we're going to eat it today. We're going to roll that up, then we're going to enjoy it. Okay, so we're going to take that first bite, and hopefully I don't burn my mouth because this is still pretty warm. I really like that. So normally, like I said, we usually use Oaxaca cheese. First time using Monterey Jack. I would say the Monterey Jack might be more of my preference than the Oaxaca. So go ahead and make this. You'll love it. Add your own variations to it. Spice it up. Add some salsa, some peppers, whatever you want. But you now know the basics of how to make Queso Fundido. So enjoy. And thank you for joining us on the Buff-A-Touille experience today.